Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the Solstice laser pistol. Short range beam weapon. Quite early on you'll come across this. You'll come across lots of different variants of this one a lot. It's quite a common one. 17 energy damage. It'd be about the same as your standard pistols if you're converting energy damage to ballistic damage. Nothing to really scream about. I don't anticipate this doing a massive amount of damage. I hope to be proven wrong, but we'll see. This claims to have a 33 range to it. Don't know whether that's true. Be quite an improvement over most pistols if it is. 25 fire rate, 70% accuracy, so we shouldn't be missing a lot, taking into consideration my very poor aim. We'll see if that's true. 7 mod slots, and the mod list on this one is humongous. I'm not going to read it out, but if you do want to see what this thing offers, then there is a link in the description to the website I'm reading from. Just go there and have a look. You'll see what this thing can be converted with. It's a big list. The 1.5 kb laser ammunition is what you want to be harvesting if you want to be using this on a regular basis. Let's just stress right from the get-go, this is just a personal playthrough. I'm just messing about with this weapon in its most basicest of forms. If this is something that you want to play with, then use this as an opportunity just to see how it works in its fundamentals. Don't treat this as a critical review of the weapon. I'm not going into huge amounts of depths. I will be comparing this one to a unique version which I've also picked up from a quest, which we'll go into later on, but for the most part I don't put mods on it, and this is about as basic as you'll ever find it, and I don't recommend picking up and using this weapon in its most basic form. I would highly recommend going after the advanced and look for blue, purple or legendary. So please don't treat my videos as a critical review. I'm not going into massive amounts of depth and detail. They're just a bit of fun. So, rant done. If you want to buy the Solstice, you'll get it from your usual spots. It's the Neon Tactical, the UC Exchange, the UC Surplus, Trade Authority, Shepherd's General Store, Roland Arms, Centurion Arsenal, and Best Defense. But I probably wouldn't go out and buy this unless you found the unique version that really does captivate your interest, simply because you'll just get so many out and around that just wait until you pick one up. You won't struggle. So let's give it a go. I believe it does have the ammo counter on the back, and the base sights are a little bit like a reflex sight, so better than an iron sight. How that affects my aim down the sight accuracy, we'll see. It's not really illuminated. Oh, it is illuminated. It glows green. It's quite a bulky weapon. Well, it doesn't exactly get in the way of your view, but it could be a little less filling the screen when you consider it is just a pistol. But we'll see what we'll see. It's having a wander into a base. I don't know what's here. For all I know, it's empty. 16 round magazine. There we go. There is somebody. He's low level, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not looking for massive amounts of damage. I'm just looking for something to shoot at. Let's give it a go. Well, it is accurate. I'll give it that. Hip firing. As with most laser weapons, the faster you fire, the more you miss. There's no getting around that with a laser weapon. And obviously if you get too far away, then it's not going to do a decent job, because it is a pistol. doesn't do that well against the turrets. Not particularly surprising. But for people, it should do significantly better. Stand still. If you were comparing it to other pistols, then I would say this probably isn't something you want to consider. If you're desperate to have an energy weapon pistol, I'd probably look at the particle beam, the Nova Blast, I think it's called, or the Varun Star Shard. They would give you much better damage output along with comfortability and usability. They're far superior. But for a very, very basic starting weapon, it's not bad. It's accurate, I will give it that. I was dubious about the accuracy claim, but in that regard it does well. But you do have to pick your shots. This isn't going to be a spamming weapon. If you start spamming, then it just goes all over the place. It's not what you need when you're in a firefight with multiple people. The 16 rounds do okay. You can take down a couple of enemies before you need to think about reloading, depending of course on how far away you are. And as always, headshots will cause massive damage. Isn't very good against mechanical, and I have to get quite close for this to actually do any decent damage. And when you consider that most turrets, especially if you're doing the at level stuff, you're not going to want to get this close. Unlike a lot of the other weapons, this is the kind of weapon that distance is a factor. A lot of pistols, rifles, shotguns, it doesn't matter how close you get, they'll do a consistent amount of damage from what I've seen. If I'm wrong, please do leave a comment on that one, but from what I've seen that's true. This one, however, the closer you get, it seems to do more damage. So up close and personal is something you might want to consider with this, unless of course, I mean, this is just the standard unedited version, so it's not a fair comparison. But when you start putting the high powered mods on the amplifier beams, the ignition beams, then things change rapidly, and small amounts of damage can turn into large amounts of damage from further away. So that is something to consider. Pretty much done here. My actual target's all the way over there, but oh, there you are. No, missed me. Got me. Right. So that is the Solstice laser pistol. Simple and effective in the right hands, not mine. No massive complaints. Clear ammo counter, it's got a clear reticle on it. Quick and simple reload. And it does the job. For a close quarter weapon, you can't really argue with that. It just works. It's not brilliant. I mean, I wouldn't personally rush out and buy one of these and gotta have it type thing, but If laser pistols are your thing, then you might want to consider this one. But for our next one, we have something a bit more fun. Hopefully. This is the Ember. It's another laser pistol. It is just a variant of the Solstice. You will pick this one up from the Ryujin Industries quest line. This is a side faction that you can do. One of the quests will send you to Mars and speak to someone called Simon. He'll ask you to do a side job where you go and take out someone who's been hounding him. This is the weapon that she carries. If you can talk her into giving it up, well, that is actually the quest. You need to bring this weapon back to Simon as proof that you've killed her. You don't actually have to kill her. That's entirely your choice. You can talk your way into a peaceful resolution, or you can kill her. It's entirely up to you. But you will bring the weapon back and he will let you keep it. So you will get Ember. Let's see if I can find the Solstice again. We can do a direct comparison. So uses the same ammunition. It's got less rounds in the magazine, and it's not as accurate. Oh, I meant no, I'm reading the wrong one. Let's get that right. It's got more rounds in the magazine. It's 6% more accurate. It's a lot heavier. It's worth a lot more, and it comes with 6 mods already installed. That being the long barrel with laser sight, holographic sights, focal lens, tactical grip, ignition beams, and amplifiers. So this thing should theoretically pack a bigger punch when firing. The range is the same, so we're probably still going to need to get up close. But yeah, the sight, it's more aesthetic than it is usability. I mean, if you looked at the aim down the sight when you compare it to the Solstice, it looks more or less the same. It's just got a plastic surround on it.
What?
Well, let's see what it does. And there we go. Where the Solstice took a few hits, this one far more effective.
You're going down.
It is identical when it comes to look, feel, maneuverability. The little laser sight will help you get a good aim. The extended magazine will allow you to fire for longer. The ignition beams and the amplifier make things a lot more deadly. As you can see, the fire damage will hurt them, it will slowly kill them, so running away isn't realistically an option for them anymore. The slow rate of fire that the weapon has is mitigated in this regard simply because of the amount of damage it will output. So where the Solstice, you'd have to pick your shots, keep moving, duck around corners, so on and so forth, just to keep yourself alive whilst you're working. With this one, picking your shots is sensible simply because you'll get a better aim. You don't need to worry about not doing as much damage. He's a little bit higher level. This will be a fairer comparison. A bit more effective against machines. That would be the fire damage. Let's just get his friends out of the way. Good reload. took a few shots, so the armour does create a bit of a problem for it, but still faster than the Solstice. If I was to be forced to choose between the two, then I would definitely say that the Ember is the one you want to go for. I don't know whether there are other variants, I honestly haven't looked. But from the two that I have, I would rate the Ember, for obvious reasons, a far more superior weapon, without a doubt. The damage output is it's significant. It's just so much better. It makes for a more enjoyable experience. You know that you're going to be able to hit most things, even if you're not doing massive amounts of damage. When you get to your higher level NPCs who are closer to what you are, if you're not being silly like me and trolling through low level areas. Apparently I've already been here. Yeah, the Ember does a better job. It's the mods that it comes with and traits offer a more superior weapon. The quest is really straightforward. It'll only take a few minutes to complete. There are lots of other quests on Mars that you can do as well if you wanted to clear out the entire planet, but if you wanted to get the Ember, then that's how you do it. Again, this quest can be found all over the internet. You can just look it up. It's really not hard to find. But laser pistol wise, the Ember is a good choice. I mean, I am a fan of the ignition beams. When you put them on the Orion laser rifle, it becomes a beast of a weapon. The holographic sights, they're okay, but it's not much difference between that and the standard on weapon sights. So pick and choose. I mean, maybe look at a different alternative. I'm sure there are some different variants that you can get out there. The longer barrel will obviously help with the accuracy, so that'll be probably where some of that percentage is coming from. The focal lenses will be up in the power. The tactical grip will help with the reload, and the amplifier, of course, raises the power again. Using the same laser ammunition, you can get it in just about every store. You'll pick up lots out and about as well. So yeah, Solstice and Ember. 2 laser pistols, 1 entry level, 1 bit more advanced. My personal recommendation would be the Ember. And we'll leave that one there. 1 standard, 1 unique. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment if you feel like it, and a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you in the next one.